Quick question, why do you keep making the same relationship mistakes over and over again? Same type of person, same painful patterns, same devastating endings. Different face, same story, every single time. Here is the truth nobody wants to admit. Your relationship problems are not about bad luck. They are not about finding the wrong person. They are about patterns you do not even know you are running. And today, we are going to decode all of it. This is not relationship advice. This is neuroscience, psychology. Decades of research distilled into one complete guide. By the end of this video, you will understand why you are attracted to certain people, why relationships fail, what attachment styles are running your love life, how to communicate so you are actually heard, and how to build something that actually lasts. Everything you think you know about relationships is about to change. Let's start at the very beginning. With the moment you first lock eyes with someone, and your brain makes a decision in 1/10 of a second that will change everything. So, you see someone across the room. Your heart rate spikes, your pupils dilate, your entire nervous system activates, and you think this is random, this is magic, this is fate. It is none of those things. It is neuroscience, and it is both fascinating and slightly devastating. Here is what actually happens in that first moment. Your brain conducts a full assessment in 100 milliseconds, 1/10 of a second, and reaches a conclusion before you consciously process anything. In that fraction of a second, your brain is scanning facial symmetry, body language, pheromones, vocal tone, and here is the wild part, whether they resemble people who shaped your attachment in childhood. Your brain is literally looking for your parents, not consciously, not deliberately, but your earliest relationships created a blueprint of what love feels like, and your brain keeps trying to find it. This is why people say they have a type. You do not have a type. You have unresolved patterns looking for resolution. But it goes deeper. When you see someone you find attractive, your brain floods with dopamine, the same chemical released by addictive substances. Your pupils dilate, your heart rate increases, your body temperature rises, and if they show interest back, oxytocin gets released, the bonding hormone. Within 3 seconds of mutual eye contact, both your brains have started chemically attaching to each other. 3 seconds. Your brain signed a contract you did not even know you were negotiating. Now here is where it gets genuinely useful. Physical attraction is automatic, but sustained attraction, the kind that builds relationships, requires 3 things science consistently shows matter. Proximity. You are attracted to people you see regularly. This is why workplace relationships are so common. Your brain interprets repeated exposure as safety and compatibility. Similarity, shared values, interests, humor. Opposites do not attract long-term. The research is overwhelming. Similarity predicts relationship success far more than differences. Reciprocity. You are attracted to people who are attracted to you. The moment someone shows genuine interest, your brain increases their attractiveness rating. This is measurable. But here is the part that will actually change your dating life. If you keep being attracted to people who hurt you, your brain is not broken. It is trying to heal an old wound by recreating the conditions that caused it. You are not attracted to them because they are good for you. You are attracted to them because they feel familiar. And your brain mistakes familiar for safe. So attraction pulls you towards someone. Your nervous system activates, chemistry happens, and then what? What happens when attraction becomes something deeper? That is where things get really interesting. Because what you think is love might actually be something else entirely. You think you fell in love because they were perfect, because the timing was right, because it was meant to be. You fell in love because your brain released a catastrophic cocktail of chemicals that temporarily disabled your rational thinking and convinced you this person was essential to your survival. Love happens in 3 distinct stages, and your brain behaves completely differently in each one. Stage 1, lust, pure chemical desire. Testosterone and estrogen surge. Your brain wants one thing and one thing only: reproduction. It does not care about personality, compatibility, or long-term potential. Lust is your biology making decisions without consulting you. Stage 2, attraction. This is the obsessive stage. You cannot stop thinking about them. You check your phone constantly. You replay every conversation. You feel euphoric when they text back and devastated when they do not. This is not love. This is a dopamine addiction. Your brain is flooded with dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin drops, the exact same neurochemical state as someone with obsessive-compulsive disorder. You are not crazy for feeling crazy. Your brain is temporarily insane, and it is doing it deliberately. Stage 3, attachment. This is actual love. The obsession fades, dopamine reduces, but oxytocin and vasopressin increase, the bonding hormones. You feel calm with them, safe, secure. This is the stage where real relationships are built. But here is the problem. Most people mistake the end of stage 2 for the end of love. The butterflies disappear and they panic. They think the love is gone, so they leave and go find someone new to give them that dopamine hit again. They are chasing a drug, not building a relationship. Here is what actually predicts long-term relationship success, and the science is very clear. Friendship. Couples who genuinely like each other, who would choose to spend time together even without the romance, last. Passion fades, friendship does not. Conflict resolution. Not whether you fight. Everyone fights, but whether you repair after fighting. The ability to apologize, forgive, and reconnect predicts everything. Shared meaning, not shared interests, shared values, shared vision for the future. What you are building together matters more than what you enjoy together. Admiration, you still respect them. You still see their best qualities. You still think they are fundamentally good. When contempt enters a relationship, it is over. Admiration is the antidote. But here is the most important thing. Love is not a feeling you fall into. Love is a choice you make every single day. The butterflies were never love, they were infatuation. Love is what you build after the butterflies leave. And building that love, that requires navigating something every couple faces, but most handle terribly. Conflict, arguments, the fights that either strengthen you or destroy you. You just had the same fight, again, for the 3rd time this month, about something completely ridiculous that somehow escalated into questioning your entire relationship. And now you are both sitting in silence, wondering how you got here. Here is the truth about arguments that will change everything. You are never fighting about the dishes. You think you are fighting about the dishes, but you are actually fighting about respect, consideration, being seen, being valued. The dishes are just the trigger. This is why talking about the dishes never fixes anything, because the dishes were never the problem. Psychologist John Gottman studied thousands of couples for decades and identified the exact patterns that predict divorce with 94% accuracy. 94%. He can watch a couple fight for 5 minutes and tell you whether they will still be together in 10 years. The 4 patterns he calls the 4 Horsemen. And if these show up in your fights, your relationship is in serious danger. Horseman 1, criticism. Attacking your partner's character rather than addressing a specific behavior. Not they left dishes out, but they are lazy and inconsiderate and never help. Horseman 2, contempt, disrespect, mockery, eye-rolling, sarcasm delivered with cruelty. This is the single biggest predictor of divorce. When contempt enters, the relationship is already dying. Horseman 3, defensiveness, refusing to take any responsibility, making excuses, counterattacking. Defensiveness stops all productive conversation immediately. Horseman 4, stonewalling, shutting down completely, walking away, going silent. Your partner cannot reach you emotionally anymore. This kills intimacy faster than almost anything. If you do any of these, and most people do all 4, you are damaging your relationship every single fight. But here is the good news. You can learn to fight better, and better fighting leads to better relationships. How to fight in a way that actually helps. 5 rules backed by decades of research. 1, use I feel instead of you. Always, not you always ignore me, but I feel unheard when I am talking and you are on your phone. Feelings cannot be argued with. Accusations can. 2, take a 20-minute break if things escalate. Your stress hormones peak at 20 minutes and make rational conversation impossible. Walk away, calm down, return when you can think clearly. 3, focus on one issue at a time. Do not bring up everything they have ever done wrong. Stick to the current problem. Solve it. Move on. 4. Repair attempts matter more than winning. If you hurt them, apologize immediately. Even if you are still upset, even if you think you are right, repair first, resolve second. 5. Remember you are on the same team. The problem is not your partner. The problem is the problem. Solve it together. The goal of an argument is not to win. The goal is to understand each other better and solve the actual issue. Healthy couples fight. Unhealthy couples fight dirty. The difference is everything. But here is something that affects how you fight, how you love, how you attach, and whether the relationship even survives. Something coded into your nervous system before you could talk, your attachment style. Let me guess. You are either someone who panics when people get too close, or you panic when they pull away, or you are the rare person who somehow manages to stay calm through both. Congratulations, you just discovered your attachment style, and it explains almost every relationship pattern you have ever had. Attachment theory says that how your caregivers responded to your needs as a child created a blueprint for how you expect to be loved as an adult. And that blueprint runs automatically in every relationship you ever have. You are not consciously choosing these patterns. Your nervous system is. There are 3 main attachment styles, and one of them is running your entire romantic life right now. Secure attachment, about 50% of people. You feel comfortable with intimacy. You trust your partner. You communicate your needs clearly. You do not panic when they need space. You do not cling when they pull away. You are the unicorn everyone is looking for. Anxious attachment, about 20% of people. You crave closeness constantly. You need reassurance. You panic when they do not text back. You fear abandonment. You read into everything. You are not needy. Your nervous system is stuck in a state of hypervigilance from childhood inconsistency. Avoidant attachment, about 25% of people. You value independence intensely. You feel suffocated when people get too close. You pull away when things get serious. You struggle with vulnerability. You are not emotionally unavailable. Your nervous system learned that closeness equals danger. And here is the cruelest pattern in all of human relationships. Anxious and avoidant people are magnetically attracted to each other. The anxious person pursues, the avoidant person withdraws. The more they pursue, the more the avoidant withdraws. The more the avoidant withdraws, the more the anxious pursues. It is a self-sustaining nightmare that recreates your childhood wounds perfectly. You are attracted to them because they confirm what your nervous system already believes about love. But here is the genuinely hopeful part. Attachment styles are not permanent. You can move towards secure attachment through awareness and deliberate practice. For anxious attachment, practice self-soothing. When you feel the panic, pause, breathe, remind yourself that their need for space is not rejection. You are safe even when they are not immediately available. For avoidant attachment, practice vulnerability. Share one feeling per day. Let someone see you. Your nervous system will scream danger. Do it anyway. Slowly you will learn that closeness does not equal suffocation. For everyone, choose secure partners deliberately. Date people who are consistent, reliable, emotionally available. They will feel boring at first. That calm feeling is what healthy actually feels like. Secure people do not fix anxious or avoidant people, but they create an environment where healing becomes possible. Your attachment style is not your fault. It was created when you were too young to protect yourself, but it is your responsibility to heal it. And healing requires something most people are absolutely terrible at: communication, actually being heard, actually understanding each other. Which brings us to the next chapter. You just spent 20 minutes explaining exactly how you feel, using very clear words in a calm tone, and somehow your partner heard something completely different. And now you are both frustrated. They think you are attacking them, you think they are not listening, and nobody has any idea how this happened. Here is the thing nobody tells you about communication. Talking is not communicating. Communication is not what you say. Communication is what the other person hears. And what they hear is filtered through their fears, their past experiences, their current emotional state, and their attachment wounds. You can say, "I need more quality time." They can hear you, "Do not think I am good enough." This happens because your brain does not process language neutrally. When someone you love speaks to you, your brain immediately scans for threat. Are they angry? Are they leaving? Am I in trouble? Am I safe? Your emotional brain reacts before your rational brain even finishes processing the words. You are not having a conversation. You are having two entirely different conversations happening simultaneously in parallel universes. Psychologists have identified 5 major communication styles, and most couples are speaking completely different languages without realizing it. Assertive communication. You state your needs clearly without aggression or passivity. This is the gold standard. Almost nobody does it naturally. Passive communication. You avoid conflict at all costs. You do not say what you need. You expect your partner to read your mind. Then you resent them when they cannot. Aggressive communication. You attack, you blame, you criticize, you win the argument and lose the relationship. Passive-aggressive communication. You say one thing but mean another. You use sarcasm, you make digs, you punish indirectly. Avoidant communication. You shut down. You go silent, you refuse to engage. Your partner cannot reach you emotionally. If you are anything other than assertive, you are damaging your relationship every single time you communicate. But here is the genuinely transformative part. You can learn to communicate assertively, and it changes everything. How to actually be heard. 5 research-backed techniques. 1. Use I statements exclusively. Not you make me feel, but I feel scared when we do not talk for days. You cannot argue with someone's feelings. You can only dismiss them. And dismissing feelings ends relationships. 2. Validate before responding. Repeat back what you heard. So what I am hearing is you feel overwhelmed at work and need more support at home. Is that right? This single technique prevents 80% of misunderstandings. 3. Ask for what you need specifically. Not I need you to care more, but I need you to ask me how my day was and listen for 5 minutes without looking at your phone. Specific requests get specific results. 4. Timing matters enormously. Do not bring up serious issues when either of you is tired, hungry, stressed, or distracted. Your brain cannot process complex emotional information in those states. 5. Repair immediately when you mess up. If you said something harsh, stop, apologize, try again. The repair is more important than being right. Good communication is not natural, it is a skill, and skills improve with practice. The couples who stay together are not the ones who never fight. They are the ones who learn to talk to each other in a way that makes both people feel heard and safe. But sometimes, even with great communication, healthy attachment, and genuine love, relationships end. And when they do, the pain is unlike anything else. Because heartbreak is not just emotional, it is neurological. You know it is over, you have known for weeks, maybe months, but the thought of actually ending it feels impossible. So you stay and suffer and hope it somehow gets better. It will not get better. And now we need to talk about why ending it hurts so much and how to actually heal instead of just moving to the next person carrying the same wounds. Breakups activate the same neural pathways as physical pain. This is not a metaphor. Brain scans show your anterior cingulate cortex and insula, the pain processing centers, light up identically whether you are heartbroken or you broke your arm. Your brain processes heartbreak as physical injury. The pain is real, the suffering is measurable. You are not being dramatic. And here is why it hurts so much. Your brain treated your relationship as a primary survival resource. Your partner regulated your nervous system. They were embedded in your daily routines, your identity, your future plans. When they leave, your entire regulatory system destabilizes. You are not just losing a person, you are losing the version of yourself that existed in that relationship. This is why people say, I do not know who I am anymore after a breakup. You genuinely do not. Your identity was partly built around them. Now you have to rebuild it alone. And your brain responds to this the way it responds to any survival threat. Obsessive thinking, rumination, constantly replaying memories, checking their social media, hoping they will come back. You are not weak for doing this. You are experiencing withdrawal. Your brain was dependent on the neurochemical environment that relationship created. Now it is gone, and you are in emotional cold turkey. Here is what actually helps, and none of it is easy, but all of it is necessary. 1. No contact, not for revenge, not to make them miss you. For your own healing, every text, every check of their social media, every mutual friend update, every interaction restarts your grief cycle. You cannot heal a wound you keep reopening. 2. Feel everything. Do not distract, do not numb, do not immediately find someone new. Sit with the pain, let it move through you. Grief has a beginning, middle, and end, but only if you actually feel it. 3. Rewrite the story. Your brain will romanticize what you lost. Remind yourself why it ended. Write down the real reasons, the incompatibilities, the ways you were not right for each other. Your brain will fight this. Do it anyway. 4. Rebuild your identity deliberately. Who are you outside that relationship? What do you like? What do you want? Spend time answering these without reference to them. 5. Do not rush into the next relationship. The average rebound lasts 3 months because you are not choosing a partner, you are choosing a distraction from pain. Heal first, then date, not the other way around. And here is the truth that will help you let go. If you have to convince someone to stay, they are already gone. If you have to beg someone to love you, they do not. The right person will not be confused about wanting you. They will not need to be persuaded. They will not leave you wondering. And the wrong person, no matter how much you love them, cannot become the right person through force of will. Breakups do not just end relationships. They close chapters. They clear space. They prepare you for what is actually meant for you. And when you heal properly, when you learn the patterns, when you choose differently next time, you can build something that actually lasts, which requires understanding something most people get completely wrong: long-term love. You have been together for years. You love them. You are committed. You can see a future together, but the passion is gone. The excitement is gone, and you are starting to wonder if this is just what long-term relationships become. Boring, predictable, safe, comfortable, and somehow completely missing the thing that made you fall in love in the first place. Here is the truth about long-term love. The butterflies were never supposed to last. That obsessive early-stage passion is your brain flooded with dopamine, norepinephrine, and low serotonin, the exact neurochemical profile of obsessive-compulsive disorder. You cannot maintain that state long-term. It is biologically unsustainable. Your brain would burn out. So the passion fades, dopamine reduces, oxytocin and vasopressin increase, the bonding hormones. You feel calm, secure, safe. This is not the death of love. This is the beginning of actual love. But most people panic here. They think the relationship is broken, so they leave and go chase that dopamine high with someone new. And the cycle repeats forever. They never build anything lasting because they keep leaving right when the real relationship was about to start. But here is the genuinely hopeful part. You can maintain passion in long-term relationships. Science shows exactly how. Novelty. Your brain releases dopamine in response to new experiences, not new people. New experiences with your person. This is why the same dinner date every Friday stops working. But trying a new restaurant in a new part of town, your brain lights up, not because of the food, because of the novelty. Uncertainty. A little unpredictability keeps attraction alive. Surprise them. Plan something without telling them. Break routines deliberately. Your brain craves some level of mystery. Physical touch, not just sex. Oxytocin releases through all physical contact. Hold hands. Hug for 20 seconds. Cuddle without it leading anywhere. Touch keeps you bonded. Shared challenges. Couples who do hard things together stay together. Climbing a mountain, learning a language, building a business. Adrenaline and achievement bond you powerfully. Maintaining separateness. You cannot miss someone who is always there. Have your own friends, your own hobbies, your own identity. Come back to each other with stories. But here is the thing that matters most. You have to choose each other daily. Passion does not just happen. Passion is cultivated deliberately, with intention. The couples who stay in love for decades are not lucky. They are not soulmates. They are people who decided to keep dating each other after the wedding, who kept surprising each other after the kids, who kept choosing each other when it would have been easier to go numb. Long-term love is not a feeling you fall into. Long-term love is a choice you make every single day. But before you get to long-term love, you have to choose the right person in the first place, which means knowing how to spot red flags early, how to make a good first impression, and what compatibility actually means. Before you can build long-term love, you have to choose wisely. And that means three things: spotting red flags before you are attached, making impressions that matter, and understanding what compatibility actually means. Let's start with red flags, because your brain, flooded with dopamine and oxytocin, will ignore them. Studies show that people in early-stage relationships perform worse on cognitive tests. Your brain is chemically compromised. You are making decisions while temporarily impaired. You are dating drunk, neurologically speaking. So here are the red flags that predict future problems with scary accuracy. Love bombing, excessive attention, grand gestures, constant texting. They move fast. They talk about the future immediately. This is not passion. This is manipulation. No long-term friendships. If someone cannot maintain long-term relationships with anyone, you will not be the exception. Cruelty to service workers. How someone treats people they do not need to impress shows you who they actually are. They dismiss your feelings. They tell you you are too sensitive. They tell you you are overreacting. This is emotional invalidation. It gets worse, not better. Isolation tactics. They slowly cut you off from friends and family. You are kept separate from their real life. Isolation is the first stage of control. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Do not wait for them to change. Red flags early become deal breakers later. The only difference is how much time you waste and how much pain you endure. Now, first impressions. You have 7 seconds to make an impression that determines whether someone wants to see you again. In those 7 seconds, their brain assesses trustworthiness, competence, warmth, and attractiveness, and they reach conclusions in 100 milliseconds. How to make a good first impression? Science has specific answers. Eye contact. 3 seconds of direct eye contact releases oxytocin in both people. Genuine smile. A real smile uses your eyes. People can tell the difference subconsciously. Open body language. Uncrossed arms. Facing them directly. Looking approachable. Use their name. People love hearing their own name. Ask questions. Show genuine curiosity. People judge you based on how you make them feel about themselves. But authenticity matters most. You cannot fake confidence. You cannot fake warmth. People can tell. Be nervous if you are nervous. Be yourself. And finally, compatibility, the thing that actually determines whether relationships last. Here is what will change how you choose partners. Shared interests do not predict relationship success. What you enjoy together does not matter. What you value together does. Real compatibility is about 3 things. 1, shared values, not interests. Values. How do you define success? What role does family play? How do you handle money? What does loyalty mean? 2, conflict resolution style. Not whether you fight, but how you fight. Do you shut down or engage? Do you apologize or defend? 3, life vision alignment. Where do you want to live? Do you want kids? What does your ideal future look like? You can compromise on almost anything, but you cannot compromise on whether to have children. You cannot compromise on where you build your life. Compatibility is not something you find, it is something you build. The most compatible couples are not the ones who never disagree. They are the ones who learned how to disagree productively and repair after conflict. Choose someone who already aligns with what matters most to you, then build the rest together. So, let's bring this all back to where we started. You thought your relationship problems were about bad luck, about timing, about finding the wrong person over and over again. But now you know the truth. Attraction is not random. It is your nervous system running patterns from childhood looking for resolution. Love is not magic. It is neuroscience. Dopamine, oxytocin, stages your brain moves through predictably. Arguments are not about the dishes. They are about feeling seen, valued, and respected. Your attachment style is not your personality. It is a blueprint created when you were too young to choose differently, but you can heal it. Communication failures are not about bad intentions. They are about 2 nervous systems scanning for threat instead of listening for meaning. Breakups do not mean you failed. They mean you cleared space for something better. Long-term love is not about finding someone who makes you feel butterflies forever. It is about choosing someone every single day, even when the butterflies are gone. Red flags are not bad luck, they are your brain's warning system. Listen to it. First impressions matter, but authenticity matters more. And compatibility is not about shared hobbies, it is about shared values, conflict resolution skills, and life vision alignment. Every relationship pattern you have is not an accident. It is a message from your unconscious, from your nervous system, from your unhealed wounds. Your job is not to find the perfect person. Your job is to decode the message, heal the wounds, and become the person who is attracted to healthy love. Because here is the final truth. You do not have relationship problems. You have patterns, and patterns can be changed. Awareness is the first step. Understanding is the second, and deliberate practice is the third. You now have all three. So, what are you going to do differently? What pattern are you going to break? What are you going to choose next time? Because next time, you will know better. And when you know better, you can do better. If this video changed how you see relationships, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more relationship science, and remember, love is not something you find. Love is something you build with the right person, using the right tools, making the right choices every single day. You have got this.